So, the nightmare begins again.
Hey, welcome back to my eternal pain, agony, suffering, and I am really running out of negative adjectives to put at the beginning here. Last time we went through 2 chapters that were relatively easy. There was a little bit of stress in them, but for the most part we took them at our own pace and everything was fine. Now prepare for the complete opposite of that. Chapter 7 is bar none the chapter I was least looking forward to, even more so than other terrible chapters like Arcadia and difficult ones later on, because of 3 green boys that are going to try and kill themselves. But before we even can get to that, I need to make a confession about something stupid I did. That is partly my fault, but I'm also going to complain about Binding Blade for a moment. See, last chapter, Lu's fire tome broke. It was the last one he had on him. I didn't exactly plan out how many times I would be having Lu attacking. Now, I thought, at the time, that's fine, no big deal, I'll just buy a fire tome at the start of next chapter. Funky little thing about Fire Emblem 6. On hard mode, the pre-battle armory is completely disabled, and you can't get anything from there. Why? Why is that a feature they removed on hard mode? It was a quality of life improvement from the previous 5 games. That's like if, I don't know, a Fire Emblem game just on hard mode decided to remove, the weapon triangle advantage. Or, say, being able to see where the enemies are going to attack you from. That would be a bad hard mode. Oh, wait. So, yeah, Lu is gonna be completely useless for the beginning of the chapter. But it's okay. It's not like Chapter 7's that hard. It's just there's some problems right here, and also right here, and there's also some problems right here, and oh boy. Well, we might as well just start getting into it. The first point of contention is the fact that 2 green units, Zealot and Trek, arrive from some houses towards the north that I need to talk to with Roy. Now, they are infamous for really wanting to kill themselves, so I kinda gotta get to them as soon as possible to stop them from doing that. So, first things first, there's a knight right towards the northeast of where we spawn that I have Marcus killed with the Armor Slayer, and, using some rescue chaining, I pick up and drop Roy off right next to him. With this, it's the only way to get Roy to be able to talk to Zealot on turn 2, otherwise he can't reach him. I then have Roy talk to Zealot, and then in turn, Zealot talk to Trek. With these 2 recruited, I can safely have them put in a position where they won't get themselves killed. And thanks to Zealot's superior stats, I put him on the front line alongside Marcus and form a defensive wall to start fighting against the forces to the north. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about Zealot now, huh? Oh my goodness, what could be better than an early game pre-promoted paladin? Oh, I know! 2 pre-promoted early game paladins! Zealot joins your army with marginally better base stats than Marcus, marginally better weapon ranks than Marcus, and marginally better growths than Marcus. Though, the growths don't really matter all that much. All in all, he's a solid paladin through and through. He's really capable of helping out your army, I wanna say, until midway through the game, a little more. He's more than capable to hold his own during the time that he's here. He isn't as essential as Marcus, because we've already gotten through the rough early game, but he'll still be just as useful for his time here regardless. Not an endgame unit, but hey, not every unit needs to be endgame available for them to be useful. Okay, so we were able to stop Zealot and Trek from killing themselves. Problem, there's still a bunch of goons that can kill them anyway, without any sort of planning. The enemies here are much and dangerous and can really hurt you. But the biggest problem are the fucking Wyvern Riders. They have an incredible amount of stats, capable of just not giving a shit about any damage, and in turn, dealing a fuck ton of it. Their one weakness is supposed to be their complete lack of resistance, which, yeah, that'd be really cool if I could exploit that. But thanks to some lucky Rutger crits and Sue managing to land some hits that was really questionable, we are able to deal with the one that's coming at us. And while all this malarkey's going on, Noah comes out of the arena, and guess what? We'll talk about him and Trek now. You see, Noah and Trek aren't bad units. They certainly aren't good units. The 2 of them basically have the purpose of, if Alan or Lance die, they're your replacements. If you've trained up Alan and Lance from the beginning, they're going to be better than Noah and Trek every single time. But if one of them got really unlucky in level ups, or you're doing an Iron Man and one of them died, Noah and Trek can fill in the gap just fine. Their stats are alright, their growths are alright. Noah's a little bit better than Trek due to the better bases that he has, but they're largely the same. You can use them if you like them. That's about it. Yeah, replacement units. Not interesting, but not really meant to be. You may notice that most of the footage for this episode kind of takes place in that one little cluster towards the arena. Yeah, that's because there's really no need to go that far out on this chapter. Like, everything coming at you, it's difficult, there's a lot of thinking on how you gotta play it, but you're not in a rush. The only thing that tries to rush you are reinforcements from the south of Cavaliers, but they don't show up until turn 10. And 10 turns in a Fire Emblem game is a lot longer than you'd think it is. So, while it is difficult to get there, you can clear everything out before that 10 turn count, and then brace yourself for the Cavaliers as they come, which come in 3 waves on hard mode, on turns 10, 15, and 20. Also, one of them has a silver lance for some reason, and he really hurts. Like, fuck that guy. I nearly shit my pants when I first saw it, because I had no idea. The final hurrah of enemies come out from the north once you bypass that wall, be it either by opening the gate or just walking around it. Which is really weird. Why do they just leave a hole in their gate there? Regardless, once you go through there, the last wave of enemies will show up next to the boss and come at you. But just like everything else, if you take it at your own pace, you shouldn't be in too much trouble. With them taken care of, it's a simple matter of running about, grabbing all of the goodies in all of the houses, opening those chests, and getting that nice, sexy hero crest. And you know what that means.
Spin!
And where else will we get our first chance to use him but Chapter 8? Probably one of my least favorite chapters in the game. I mean, fucking look at it. It's a long-ass hallway for most of it. Hell, all of it, really. But hey, I'm not here to critique map design, I'm just here to suffer through it. So for the first bit of this, we need to just start going down a hallway, because if we don't, Cath will appear alongside another thief and take all the goodies from us, which include 3 promotion items? So yeah, we're not gonna want to do that. The first threat of the map is a knight with a horse slayer, and given how I've got like 5 people on horses, yeah, no, that guy's pretty scary. But thankfully we have a banana man with his lightning magic, and that one threat is quickly taken care of. Other than him, nothing really is a threat to us, it's just a bunch of weak-ass soldiers and archers. And speaking of weak-ass units, after we get towards the top of the map, there are 3 new units spawning to the left. 2 of the Ostian armor knights and a mercenary. And it's time we talk about them. Oh, and also the fact that Astolfo was here since the start of the chapter. Probably should have mentioned that sooner.
My family and I love you, but you're terrible. You're all terrible.
Starting with Astolfo, he's the best thief in the game. Which is to say, he's going to steal and not much else. Yeah, thieves in this game can't promote, they can't fight very well, but Astolfo has the best base stats, so he's the one you're using. Now on to Barth. I'll put it to you this way. If you wanted to use an armor knight in FE6, Barth is the one to use. He has the best defensive stats, he's fine, he has a good base level. He's an armor knight in a game that really doesn't like armor knights. But if you want to slow down to an armor knight's pace, Barth is your best option. But there is one thing that pisses me off about Barth that I'm going to say right now. Alright, so, Barth's base HP is 25. Male knights get 4 health on promotion to general, and Barth has a 100% HP growth rate. If you level Barth up to 20, and then promote him, and then level him to 20 again, he will always be a single point of health away from the HP cap of 60. This has irrationally pissed me off for years, because why? Why give a man 100% growth rate in a stat just to doom him to be 1 point away from capping it? What the fuck? There are several hundred Fire Emblem characters, each covering their own set of classes, their own set of stats, their own set of availability, and everything. And among all of them, Wendy is probably the single worst one in the entire series. Bad stats, bad growth rates, bad join time, bad everything. She's bad. However, we can close this off with OJ, who is probably the closest thing that the Ostian units have to a competent fighter. He's not that bad, really. He's a mercenary like Dick, and his growth rates are fine. His bases are a little low for his join time, though. But if you actually stop to train him, which is pretty easy to do because we're about to re-enter Axe Hell in the Western Isles, he actually will, on average, end up a little better than Dick and Echidna. So yeah, OJ is an investment worth making. I won't be making it because my dick isn't screwed, but hey, maybe your dick is screwed. As we make our way to the home stretch of the map, the one thing to keep an eye on are the walls. There are mages on the other side of it with big scary tomes, and our units don't know what the fuck a resistance is, so that can be pretty scary. Especially that air caliber user, who if he so much as sneezes in Shauna's general direction, will kill her. But we are able to get to Kath and Lilina relatively painlessly. The one thing, though, is I try to give the other thief that Kath comes with a kill for Noah, so you know, he can catch up a little bit. My Lance is falling a little bit behind, and I want Noah to get the kill. The fucker just didn't want the experience. He missed so many goddamn times, I swear to God. You better be worth all the pain, Noah. And on the other hand, we can talk about Lilina, our final unit of the chapter. Lilina is... Like, she's a level 1 mage at this point, when we got Lou at level 1 a while ago. Which isn't inherently a bad thing if she's worth training up. She kind of is. Remember what I said with Lou, how his emphasis on speed was actually optimal because enemies don't have a resistance? Lilina's the mage with an emphasis on magic, and because of that, she's a lot worse than Lou. She struggles on average to double a lot of enemies, but hey, she'll do a lot of damage with her magic, but she won't be able to kill much because she can't double much. Lou can. If you like mages and like her, like you can use her, she won't be bad, but considering how long you have Lou and just how much better he is than her, he's generally your better option if you want a mage in the long run. Also doesn't help that the Gilding Ring, the mage promotion item, is bar none the most coveted promotion item in the game, with only 2 of them obtained by the point of chapter 14X. So if you don't promote Lilina with the first one, you're stuck with her as a mage for a while. Lou can manage with that. Lilina can't really. So yeah. And that's the end of that. In the home stretch of the map, the last thing we need to do is defend against a wave of reinforcements coming from the north and the west. Thankfully, the position at the bottom right makes for an excellent natural choke point, so we can just wall off everything from there and not really need to worry about it. It's a lot of sweet, juicy EXP, and my units like Noah will just absolutely love it.
See? I told you it would happen.
'Twas never a matter of if, only when.
Before this video ends, I would like to give a thank you to my patrons. Those patrons are Bish Near, Follow Penta the North Star on Twitch, Great Riek, Green Brigand, Kieran Morin, Nember, Rangerman Sam, Wario Carroll, Ryan Walter, Steph D, Brentendo11, and Drew Hack. I'll see you guys next time, where we get to do all of this from the very beginning. Yay!